My name is Victoria Winters. Collinwood at night. Its towers a dark mass against the threatening sky. A symbol of a mystery I cannot solve. A mystery that brings me to a cottage not far from the waterfront. A cottage that might hold the answers I've been waiting so long to hear.
Remember, Vicky, my father's an artist, so don't expect this place to be neat.
Well, then I'll be prepared for the worst.
Well, the worst it's not. The best it's not either. Somewhere in between. Hey, Pop! Pop, I'm home!
Maggie, it's charming.
Well, it's all right if you like pallets in your chairs and an occasional paintbrush in your soup. Just make yourself comfortable. And I'll go and rouse my dad and tell him we got company for dinner. He's not at home. I guess we'll just have to surprise him.
Maggie, did your father do all these paintings?
Every blessed one of them. He's pretty good, isn't he? You'd better say yes.
Well, I think he's wonderful.
Now I know we're going to be friends. There's a pile more over here. Why don't you look through them and I'll unpack these groceries.
Oh, let me help you.
Oh, no, and keep you from admiring my father's paintings. He'd kill me.
Maggie?
I'll be with you in a sec.
No, come now. This is important. Really important.
What's all the excitement?
This painting, did your father do it?
I told you he painted everything in this house, including the walls, if you really want to know. Why?
Well, look at it. Take a good look.
That's an oldie. Oh, where did you ever find that? It's been here as long as I can remember.
In that stack over there. Maggie, I want you to look at it very carefully. And then look at me.
Well, what am I supposed to see?
Well, around the nose and mouth, don't you think it looks like me?
Yes, a little. As a matter of fact, it does. She could pass for your sister.
Do you know who she is?
No, I told you, it's an old painting of my father's. He could have done it 30 years ago, for all I know.
Do you think he'd know?
He might.
I hope he does. Maggie, this could be so important.
Oh, Vicky, don't get so excited. Really, it could be just a coincidence.
I know. But I can't afford to pass up something like this. Something that might be the answer to everything I've been looking for.
Well, I agree. When my pop gets here, we'll ask him about it. Maybe he can remember. You really hang on, don't you?
Every night in the foundling home, I used to lie in bed and stare at the dark and pray that when I woke up in the morning, I'd know who I really was. It was a common disease with all the others there, too. Looking for answers.
Vicky, have you ever thought what would happen if you found the answers you were after and they weren't what you wanted to hear?
Well, anything would be better than not knowing.
I wonder.
How can you say that? Every night when your father comes home, he's real. He's a person you've known your whole life.
Is he? You dream your dreams, Vicky. I'm going to go and start supper.
Yes. He's here again? All right, send him in. And Harry, what about that tide chart? Isn't that thing finished yet? Oh, all right, good. I'll come out and get it in a couple of minutes then. Right. Well, Burke, seems like we ought to give you a desk around here.
What's happening with Bill Malloy?
If there are any reports to make, you'll hear about them.
Have you seen Roger Collins or Sam Evans yet?
Yep.
Well, what did they say?
Burke, I haven't had much chance to do much eating today. Now, don't make me spoil my digestion by getting angry at you.
It's been some time now since Bill Malloy's body was fished out of the water.
Well, you'll just have to be as patient as I am.
I suppose you don't know anything about what has caused his death.
Well, the autopsy report said he drowned.
The report also said he was hit on the head.
And that could have happened after he was in the water, bumping up against the rocks.
You still believe that? After talking to Collins and Evans, you still believe that?
You're really pretty hot about this, aren't you?
If Malloy was murdered, I want the person responsible taken care of, put away.
Roger Collins or Sam Evans, you mean?
Yes.
And what about Burke Devlin?
I had no reason to want him dead, but they did. And if you don't do something about it, so help me, I will.
When I write my autobiography, I'm going to name you the champion potato peeler of all time.
Well, you ought to see me mince onions. I'm even better at that.
I mean, tears and all?
By the bucket.
You can take that apron off now. There's nothing to do but sit back and let it cook. I hope you're hungry.
I will be, don't you worry.
Say, Vicki, what's the kitchen like up at Collinwood?
Oh, spooky and scary like the rest of the house.
A spooky kitchen? That's one I never heard of.
Well, you see, every time you open the door of the oven, you've got to be really careful. Because there's this old witch standing right behind, ready to push you in and make a meal out of you. And on top of the stove, instead of burners, there's open fires and huge cauldrons on top. And you have to stir and stir.
Double,
Toil and trouble. No, actually, it's just a kitchen. It's bigger than yours, but haven't you ever been up there?
Are you kidding? That first night when you landed here and I told you I'd never set foot near that place, I meant it. There are enough spooks around here without going up to Widow's Hill to look for more.
Spooks in this place?
Sure. There's one. Maybe. There are others. Say, have you ever seen a ghost up there?
Once, maybe. It was during a thunderstorm, and all the lights went out. I was down in the drawing room, and suddenly there was a flash of lightning, and in the doorway was this black, sort of hooded figure. I called out, but it didn't answer. And then there was another flash of lightning. It was gone.
Weren't you scared?
Terrified. What do you think?
I think you're nuts to stay there. That's what I think.
Well, I don't know. It was a ghost. Well, it could have been Mr. Collins.
Oh, but even so, Vicki, the things that are digging at that family have been going on long before you ever got there. Search or no search, I wouldn't stay up in Collinwood.
Well, all big houses have stories and legends attached to them. But I just can't let them drive me away until I've found the answers I'm looking for.
Answers? I wasn't talking about any 200-year-old ghost story, Vicki. If you've got strong nerves, maybe you can stand that kind of thing. I know I couldn't. The trouble started about 10 years ago. Believe me, I think they've just about hit the boiling point.
Are you talking about Burke Devlin's trial?
Yes.
You know, it's funny. Ever since I've come here, that's all anyone's talked about. But no one will tell me what really happened.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe no one knows or no one wants to tell.
No one wants to tell what?
Pop, we've been waiting for you.
Hello, Mr. Evans.
Aren't you a long way from the hill, Miss Winters?
Vicky's going to be our dinner guest, Pop. Look, why don't you go back and get washed up? Vicky and I have all kinds of things we want to talk to you about. Not exactly a bundle of cheer, is he?
Sorry I had to walk out on you like that, Burke, but I had to get something. Of course, if you're in a hurry, there's not much sense in your hanging around.
I'm not leaving here until I get some kind of an answer.
Well, this seems to be your day for making threats, doesn't it? First, you threatened to do something about Evans and Collins, and now you're pulling a sit-down strike in my office. My advice to you, boy, is to slow down right now. And keep your hands off the papers on my desk.
Is that part of the official report? It looks like something a 10-year-old kid might have drawn up.
9. David Collins tried to figure out where Malloy's body landed in the water. Well, he wasn't too far off either.
You've got that figured?
Yes, roughly. Based on tides, ocean currents, and so on. His body could have hit the water in any one of 3 different spots.
Where are they? Come on, Sheriff. What difference does it make?
Well, Malloy's house is on the water. It could have been there. Sims Cove, too. You know the place? It's about 2 miles north of the cannery.
Yes.
And at Lookout Point.
Lookout Point. That's halfway between Bill's house and the cannery.
I know.
Do you also know that Bill was in the habit of walking to the cannery from his house?
Uh-huh.
Well, doesn't that mean anything to you?
Well, what do you think it should mean?
It means he might have been murdered on the way to the meeting.
If he was murdered.
What do you mean, if he was murdered? I've told you about a motive. I told you about the meeting.
Yep.
Well, you've seen Roger Collins and Sam Evans and talked to them about it, haven't you?
Yep.
Well, doesn't that suggest something to you?
Nope. Somebody's lying.
What do you mean somebody's lying? Malloy invited Collins and Evans to the meeting. Now, he knew that if I wasn't guilty, Roger Collins had to be.
And Evans was going to help prove that.
Yes.
How?
Well, I thought you would have figured that out by now. You did talk to Evans, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And Collins. I went over your whole story with them, sentence by sentence. They didn't agree with it, Burke. They both said you were lying. According to them, Malloy never said anything about your manslaughter.
And according to me, they lied. Both of them.
Well, somebody lied. That's for sure.
So, this is where it ends, huh? Malloy dies and nothing happens.
Burke, I don't have any proof, none whatsoever, that Malloy was murdered.
I gave you proof. I gave you the motive.
You gave me a story that's been contradicted by 2 other men.
Aren't you forgetting that Roger Collins is a pretty good liar?
Aren't you forgetting that a jury didn't seem to think so?
Well, what do you want me to do? Say that he's so good that he fooled everybody with it? He was lying then, and he's lying now. And Sam Evans is lying. And one of them murdered Bill Malloy. And if you want to sit around here and play truth or consequences, not me. I'm not about to let him get away with it.
Burke, come back here.
So, you can tell me not to play detective?
Now, you listen to me. If you get any ideas about taking things into your own hands, I'm going to pull you in here, put you in a cell, and forget there ever was a key.
That's a very interesting story, Miss Winters. I had no idea you were searching for a family.
Yes, indeed. How do you like that, Bob? Doesn't know when she's well off.
Well, I trust you were joking.
Of course I was. Dinner's going to be ready in about 15 minutes, folks.
I'm glad you're here, Miss Winters. Really. It's been rather trying for her for these past times. She hasn't been laughing like she used to lately.
Why? What's wrong?
With her? Oh, not a thing. Well, how can I be of help to you?
Well, it's about this painting. Do you remember who the model was?
Oh, that is an old one. Where'd you ever find this?
In that stack over there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Not bad. Matter of fact, it's pretty good. Amazing how your brushstroke changes in 25 years.
Is that how old it is? 25 years.
Well, as far as I can recall, somewhere in the vicinity of, let's see. You know something, Miss Winters? She looks a bit like you. Or rather, you look a bit like her. Well, especially around the nose and the mouth.
That's why I want to know who she is.
25 years. Now, I know she was a local girl. Let's see. Hanson. No. Hanscom? No. Betty Hanscom. Oh, she was a lovely girl.
Do you know anything about her?
I knew a great deal about her in those days.
I heard that, Pop.
Oh, that was before I married your mother. Well, Miss Winters, I'm afraid this has no connection with you because, you see, Betty left town about 6 months after I painted this. And then I heard that she had died about 5 or 6 months later. So you see, you weren't even born then.
Well, does she have any family?
She had a mother and father, I believe, but they're both dead now. No other relatives. No, sorry.
So am I.
Wait a minute. Hanson? Wasn't that the name of the fellow that Burke killed?
No, Hanscom, with a C. Hanscom.
I'm sorry, Pop. I was in the kitchen. I thought you said Hanson.
Yeah. Well, you were wrong.
Pa, before you came in, Vicki and I were talking about Burke. She said she never really knew about the accident, you know. We thought maybe you'd tell her about it.
Well, I really don't think it would be of any interest to her.
Oh, but it would be.
Oh, it's all ancient history, Miss Winters. Maggie, why did you have to bring this up?
Well, why not, Pop? Is there any reason why you don't want to talk about it?
I can think of far better ways to entertain a guest.
Well, then let's ask Vicki about it. Do you want to hear it?
Well, I've been hearing so much about it. Exactly what did happen, Mr. Evans?
Well, believe me, Miss Winters, this is a local incident which is of really very little importance.
Well, it seemed to be pretty important to Roger Collins and Burke.
Now, I haven't learned a thing about myself. I might as well learn something about Burke.
Well, it's very cut and dried. Burke was driving a car at night, hit someone on the road, and killed him. He kept on going, and he was tried for manslaughter and convicted, and that's the whole story.
Pop, what about Roger Collins and his wife?
His wife was involved?
Well, she was in the car. Pop, now why don't you tell her all about it?
What are you trying to do, make me the local historian?
I don't want to make you anything, Father. I just want to find out about the story.
Hale, started in a tavern on the Bangor Road. Name of the place doesn't matter. I really don't remember when it was. Roger Collins and Burke were there, and Roger's wife, Laura.
She wasn't his wife then, was she?
No.
Go on.
Well, Collins and Burke were very good friends at that time. They used to run around together. In fact, that's how Laura, Collins' wife, met Collins. She'd been Burke's girl at first, and then he introduced her to Collins, and you know how these things are. Well, anyway, there they were at this tavern, and they all had a lot to drink, and they left.
Together.
Yes. Oh, Burke was so drunk that one of the men in the tavern had to help him out of the car. You see, all three of them, Collins, Burke, and Laura, came in Burke's car. Burke insisted on driving. That's the way it was. Burke got behind the wheel, and then they all drove off, and then...
Is that when he hit the man?
Yes. Maggie, I just don't think there's any point in going on with this story.
Pop, you have to take the shoe off the other foot. Can't leave it right there.
Well, the man was hit and killed. The car kept going. The police were able to trace the car to Burke. He insisted he hadn't been driving, but he was too drunk to be absolutely positive.
Well, what about Mr. Collins and his wife? Wouldn't they know?
Well, they seemed to, Vicki. They both testified at the trial. They both swore that Burke was driving. They were married a week later.
And Burke says that they were lying. Is that where the trouble is?
Burke doesn't know. He doesn't know absolutely anything.
Pop, are you sure of that?
No, he goes around screaming about something he doesn't know anything about. He was drunk at the time. Collins testified to that. Collins ought to know. If we're going to have dinner, I think we ought to sit down and eat it right now. Hello.
Hello, Sam.
Who is this?
The sheriff. Sam, has Burke Devlin been out your way tonight?
No. Why?
Well, I'm just checking. If he does show up, Sam, maybe you better call my office and let me know.
Why? What do you expect him to do?
Well, probably nothing, but he's a pretty hot-headed young man, and I've got enough trouble on my hands right now. So if he does come around, Just be careful, okay?
Sure.
And Sam, don't be afraid to call me if you need me.
Sure.
Who was that?
Huh? Oh, just a friend. It was nothing important. Maggie, why don't you lock the door and we'll sit down and have food, huh?
Sure.
You, sit over here, Miss Winters.
Thank you.
Maggie, don't open the...
Hi, Maggie. Am I disturbing you?
Well, we were just going to sit down and have dinner.
Do you have room for one more?
Stay tuned for Where the Action Is next here on ABC. Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.